Let's hear it for Rebecca.
Thank you. And thanks for those moving sounds. I appreciate that. It's late in the day for everyone. So I want to talk a little bit about Lean at TechSoup. So TechSoup is a 27-year-old nonprofit social enterprise. We definitely did some things long before anyone was probably calling them Lean that I would call very iterative. We were going out locally in the San Francisco Bay Area and crawling around connecting networks and building technology plans with nonprofits. Technology was relatively new in terms of it getting into kind of a small enterprise, if you will, at that time. But we quickly discovered that we could build plans and we could kind of get things going, but nonprofits couldn't do much because they couldn't get any funding for what they needed, and the products were not affordable, especially at that time. And so we kept trying a few different things, and we kind of, almost in some ways accidentally hit upon a model of going and making it easier for the donors to donate or deeply, especially discount the technology, and creating a place along with lots of other organizations working in this space where nonprofits can come together. So that was our old Lean story. Now the question is, here we are, and a lot of things have happened in the meantime. We're an organization that's got a $34 million budget. We partner to deliver the technology to, we have about 100,000 customers a year who come and participate and pay for the service and for what we feel is an affordable fee, get a lot of value out of it. That's happening in 60 countries. We partner with lots of NGOs who also generate earned income for themselves, around $9 million this year. And it's really about 88% of our budget now. And to date, we've distributed about $4 billion worth of technology through TechSoup to the nonprofit sector. And I want to just say that, if you look at the environment that we're in today, this chart I just put up, and like some of the other speakers, the colors don't show very well. But it's a chart which is basically saying there are a lot of changes going on in the nonprofit sector with technology, lots of different areas. And when you look at them, there on the left-hand side, these are things we kind of know where they're headed, like crowdsourcing and so forth. If you look on the right, charitable law, data privacy, other issues. We don't know where they're going, but we know that there's a lot of change there and a lot of uncertainty. And the main point of this is there's nothing that's unimportant. Everything's important. So we have to deal with that changing environment. So borrowing from some of the Steve Blank terminology here, we need to innovate. We need to innovate because we have to be relevant to the organizations that we want to serve. And everything's changing for them as well. And we could do some of that around our own process inside the organization, that is TechSoup, and also for the products and services, and also for business models. But at the same time, we also have to operate a relatively big organization as well. A lot of people depend on us, and that's the way that I look at it. And I just want to say quickly that when you're sometimes in search mode and sometimes in execution mode, it affects everything you do. Your strategy, your process, your functions, how you set up your organization, and the approaches that you use. So these kind of lean principles are really helpful, but I don't think they're only applicable to startups. And I think that a lot of people need to innovate within really important organizations in the nonprofit sector that are doing things that we don't want to just throw away. We don't want every young, talented person to go and start their own thing. We want some people to join together, cooperate, and make change more effectively, building on things that are out there. So this is a busy chart, but it's just one thing. I just wanted to use two examples for things that we've done to incorporate some of these practices and things that I have found helpful to provide some insight. So one thing that I feel is we do a lot today to offer products, but we don't do a lot to help with all the needs that nonprofits have around technology. And one big thing I think they don't have is they don't have technology advice and help and support. So we've started to kind of chart out the various things we could do, and we've started to experiment with, like a membership service to just really learn what organizations need. It's been extraordinarily hard within our own walls just to actually make that happen, though, because what happens when I mapped this out, I then went and mapped out everything we do, and I kind of discovered that there are clashes between certain parts of the organization and what we need to do to launch new services. And one big thing, and I noticed, is that who owns the customer inside an existing organization in the sense of who controls the communication channel or who can go and talk to the donors. They don't want anyone else messing with that. and it's messy to try new things and to experiment, right? So that was sort of the kind of here and now lesson, that we've learned. And I just want to say, too, one kind of point that I've also really noticed, and I like this business model campus because it's easy to work by yourself and also in teams, and to iterate and to map your progress. And there are a couple of really good tools no one's mentioned today. One is called strategizer.com, and the other one is called Launchpad Central. And I think they're very helpful tools. They may not be affordable for you, but I would check them out if you can, because they help you actually build these kind of models. In this case, the only point I wanted to make on the advisory services is you start to realize how you have to really focus on, just get really, really narrow. Who is the customer, which segment, and I think that point's been made a few times today. Try to figure out who you're really targeting. Thank you.